Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
All right, this is RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at criticalblast.com. And if you are the longtime viewer, I won't say a longtime viewer, we only have one. That's an inside joke. Then you might have noticed that was a bit of a different intro that we've got going there. I'm going to keep that aside, put it on the shelf for all of our UK crowdfunders whenever they come over, make them feel a little bit more at home. But I just wanted to try it out tonight because it's brand new and I hadn't yet seen it work in StreamYards. So welcome once again to the Critical Blast Caverns, where we are going to delve into some more comic book crowdfunding. And tonight we have with us Mr. Brandon Flynn, who has got not one, but two crowdfunders going. Brandon, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
You know, I'm doing pretty good. But you know, the night's still young, so it can change.
There we go.
So I've got to ask you right off the bat, man, what in the world possessed you to try to run two crowdfunders at one time?
Complete and utter insanity. It's just bad decision making altogether. So I guess originally I started working with Reclaiming Zandara and started getting that project off the ground. And then that one was taking a little bit longer than expected. And I started working on Galden at the same time. And with Galden, I launched it a little early because I wanted to have this become a character perk. And so I originally launched Galden and I got through like my first 10 days or so, and I only had like 2 backers, and they were like a couple of my friends, and I was like, you know, oh man, maybe people don't really like the art or they're not really into the story or something. And I was like, okay, well, let me see if I had launched Reclaiming Zandara, maybe that one would be more popular. And then all of a sudden Galden started gaining a whole bunch of momentum and people really, really liking that. And then I'm like, oh man, now I'm doing this juggling.
Yeah, and you know, and a lot of people are like, you know, hey, wait a minute, this guy's got 2 going on here, and he's never fulfilled one before yet. You run into that whole buyer beware kind of thing. You a battle with them.
Yeah, well, I so originally I had no idea that was a thing. Like I didn't realize that people were crowdfunding and not fulfilling on their orders and stuff like that. And then I was on a stream with Wise Guys, and he was like, hey man, just since you're new to all this, let me kind of let you know the red flags that people see and it throws up. And I'm like, oh man, okay. So I got this whole big bombshell of knowledge dropped on like every mistake I've made so far.
Yeah, it's better to get them ahead of time. you're getting but you know what? That's okay. All you got to do is just come through on it, and all will be forgiven, and they'll be looking for the next one. So
yep.
So let's take a look at this first one here, and I'll just add it to the stream. This is Galden. Now, as an editor, I don't know. Everybody gets slammed when they come on everybody's stream because you know we're trying to get people to buy the book, but we're at the same time trying to be fair and let people know that we ain't shills. we're trying to get better and stuff. As an editor, what went into the font choice for Galden here? And I'll tell you,
as far as doing it lowercase like that.
Well, yeah, and the letter style because obviously you've got all these little phalanges that hang off the side of the letters, which because it's a ripped kind of letter style font. And I think what that does is it makes it hard to tell whether this is another one of those little phalanges hanging off of an O, because Golden is like, an instant translated word from an English-speaking head when they see this, as opposed to something that would look a little bit more like a lowercase a if you had a different font.
Right. It was one of those things where I saw this really cool font and I really liked it, and then I had them try to, I said, oh hey, let's incorporate that font to the title, and they did, and yeah, it does look a lot like Golden. It's kind of hard unless you're like really, really staring at it, and yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe doing that in all caps would have been better.
I have an excessively large font collection that I got exactly for the same reason. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. I'm going to use that someday. And then I'll scroll down like, nope, doesn't work for that word. Nope, doesn't work for that word. But so tell us a little bit about Galden. Is it a character? Is it a world? And what the story is.
Galden is the name of our. Yeah, Galden's the name of our main character, actually. So that's why. So this story is going to basically be his story. So I guess we'll get into kind of what the world looks like. With my story, demons have ruled the earth for almost 1,000 years. Humanity is on the brink of extinction. They're living in caves. They're doing what they can to try to survive. And so in the very beginning, we're kind of seeing what life is like for these people and then what that kind of society looks like. And what ends up happening is our main character, his best friend, and 23 other random people wake up in this jail cell type thing. And they learn exactly what happened 1,000 years ago. So basically, they're greeted by the celestial being that says, hey, you're here to compete in this thing called the Rendagon. Now, what they say is it's a tournament to determine who rules the earth for 1,000 years between humans and demons. And our main character is kind of like, hey, who are you guys to decide that? You know, we've got our home, let them have theirs. And what they learn is that, you know, many millennia ago, humans and demons used to coexist on Earth. And the king of Atlantis got greedy and decided he wanted to rule the entire Earth. So he had his scientists develop a machine to send all the demons to another dimension. Then our celestial beings, which were the creators and overseers of the universe, came down and said, hey, we didn't design this planet this way. Bring them back. And the king of Atlantis was basically like, well, we've got our technology. We don't need them and we don't need you. So they said, okay, well, we're going to put you to the test. We're going to take away your technology and we're going to see who's the better. And so what they're going to learn is basically that first tournament, humanity lost, and that's why Atlantis was destroyed. Then the very next one, humanity won, and civilization started coming back to the surface. And we'll see how things like the Roman gladiator games and certain things in like Russian and Oriental cultures were direct influences from this tournament and this fighting style.
Tech basketball game.
And so, you know, we're going to kind of, what was that?
You can even get those Aztec basketball games that if you ever research those. I used to play basketball in the Mayan and Aztec cultures. Only they do it with the head of the opponents.
I'm hearing a robot voice again. I'm so sorry.
Oh no!
What was?
Google Aztec basketball sometime.
Oh no!
We're repeating.
Let's try that again. What was that?
I said Google Aztec and basketball sometime, and you'll probably find
there we go.
the game they would play.
Yes. I actually was down in Mexico, and I went to Chichen Itza, and so I kind of saw the Mayan version of that basketball game where you have the hoop on the side of the wall and stuff.
Yeah.
And I actually got to stand there in the arena, and it was really, really cool.
Yeah, you didn't want to lose that game because Mexico became your head.
No. Yeah, that was it. And the funny thing is the way that they actually designed those ruins, it's kind of weird. You could literally say they had us stand back on one end of the arena, and I mean this arena is huge. It's huge, and they would have us say something, like kind of yell it, kind of, and so we would, and you would basically be able to hear how the sound would bounce off the walls and echo and create a larger echo that would reach the other side of the field.
Wow.
It was really, really cool to like experience. Yeah. The Mayans had it. They had some really cool insight. But so we're going to learn about how a lot of the cultures took influence from these games and these celestial beings. And what we're going to come to learn is during the Dark Ages, when humanity lost like 90% of the knowledge, we lost the knowledge that this tournament existed. So when our tournament comes around, we end up losing, and that's why demons rule the earth for 1,000 years.
Now, I'm seeing
And so basically, that's the world of the first book. First book is going to take us through kind of, setting up the world the way it is, learning about this tournament, and then the first book is going to take us about halfway through, because we're going to have our main character Galden, his best friend Ryoku, and 23 other people. And the cool thing with my campaign and my Indiegogo is the become a character perk. Because unlike your kind of traditional cameos where you can pay money and kind of be in the book for like a panel or maybe two, this you actually get to become one of the characters that are fighting in this tournament. So it's a lot. So it's you get your own character, you get your own backstory, and you get to watch as your character progresses through this tournament and beyond.
Okay, so I'm reading this description. You got 13 out of 21 people claim this thing, so that's a popular choice. Become a character and join the fight for the fate of humanity. With this package, you will receive a copy of the book and become a character in the book. Your character will also transfer to the anime. Take it from there.
All right. So originally when I came up with these ideas, I was going to produce an animation studio or going to create one. And then I kind of realized how much that actually costs. And your traditional 30-minute, or 26-minute, 24 frame per second anime or cartoon show typically costs around $30,000. And I'm a FedEx driver by, profession. So I'm like, oh no, if I work 7 days a week and I don't eat, I'll be able to buy like 2 episodes a year. This is great. So, what was that?
Crowdfunded.
There you go. Well, I decided I was like, okay, I'll create the mangas first. Kind of create a customer base, a follower base, people that really like the story and want to get behind it. And then when I start creating the animation in the animation studio, that'll kind of bring people already into, that space, or kind of already start with a somewhat of an audience.
Yeah. I got one other question here. Sure. Is the Rendigon going to be a card game or is it going to be a Battling Tops game? If you got a market for this where you can spin something out of it. Spin, I didn't mean spin.
No, I totally got what you're saying. I hadn't thought about it. Realistically, I thought maybe like a video game type of thing later on, way later on, once this thing starts going. But yeah, it could definitely be a card game, especially we're going to have different types of demons with different type of abilities. We'll have different types of humans with different traits and attributes and strengths and whatnot. So yeah, it could definitely be something that could be turned into a card game or a tabletop of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, especially since you've got the manga influence, you've got a tournament happening inside of it. I mean, that's the whole trope on which so many Japanese manga and anime spin on is things like Pokemon, things like what's my kid into Beyblade.
There you go,
all over that. So,
oh yeah. Well, I'm going to have to give you some royalties for the idea because I honestly hadn't even thought about that. And then now you say this and I'm like, oh, goodness, that's exploded a whole other facet of like, oh, my God, there's so many opportunities. Oh, God.
It's blindingly obvious. I can't see it.
Exactly. So this book is framed out to be, as of right now, 124 pages, but it's actually probably going to be more. And it's because of the Become a Character perk. Because one of the things is a lot of the people that backed it are like, kind of close friends, but we've also got people from CG and other places that have backed the Become a Character perk. And we want to give them an actual backstory. So one of the cool things that we're going to do, like, for instance, one of my friends, he's got a wife and kid, And so one of the things when we learn about his character, he's going to say, oh, I've got a wife and kid. This is the reason why I'm motivated to fight in this tournament and bring humanity back. And he'll actually kind of like reach into his pocket and then pull out a picture. And so there'll be one panel where it's an actual photograph of, his wife and his son.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so it kind of adds like a personal flair to it.
I'm seeing all these pictures black and white. I'm assuming the book's going to be black and white, even though the cover
yes.
is color. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's a lot of pages for a $20 book.
There's a lot of framework that's going into this first book, for sure.
I mean, also you usually get 40 pages for a $20 book. Is this going to be your standard comic book size, or is this going to be more of a manga sized book, the digest sized?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I apologize.
Is this going to be the same dimensions as your standard comic, or is it more the dimensions of a manga, the more digest?
No, this one's going to be the dimensions of a comic.
Okay.
I really took a lot of influence from Doug TenNaples' Earthworm Jim book. When I got that in my hands and I felt like how heavy, the hardcover and all the pages, I was just like, wow, I can't believe I only spent this for all of this. And I really wanted to bring that to my backers.
Well, that's going to be, that's a great deal. What's your domestic shipping rate on that?
I'm doing $10 as a domestic. So I'm on the far East Coast. So, I think $10 is probably a really good, middle ground.
I think you're probably right on that one. I mean, when you could take into account the packaging and the labels and everything, it all adds up.
Yeah.
It's not the stamp, folks. There's actual handling.
Yeah, exactly. I can't just put this in an envelope and give it to USPS and go, here you go, guys.
You are a FedEx truck driver.
Here's a 50-cent stamp.
In the truck.
I lost you for a second. What was that?
I said, you are a FedEx truck driver. You could just, take the week off, but keep the truck home and just drive around the country.
No. There we go. Just roll around in the FedEx truck, just delivering boxes. Delivering. Oh, man, that'd be funny.
That's a personal touch that nobody's got. So
there we go.
Are you your own artist on this?
No, I hired an artist named Wilsa Cipretti. He's really, really detailed, really, really good with the grayscale and the bold, black lines, and I really fell in love with his work when I saw it.
Because you've got a flexible goal here.
Yes.
Is this your first 30 days or is this your second 30 days?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is this your first 30 or your second 30?
This is my second 30.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the second one.
Yeah.
Yep. So
go. But flexible goal, that means that usually that means that you're planning on doing it no matter how much money you got.
Yes. So I got very fortunate being a FedEx driver outside of Washington, D.C. when COVID hit. In March, my bosses were like, hey, we're slammed. Like, we literally had more stuff in a day than we did during the previous Christmas season. And they're like, hey, we need drivers that are willing to work, 7 days a week. Would you be able to do that? So I've basically been working 7 days a week since March. And kind of saving up and using some of that money towards the book and getting that created.
Okay, well that's cool.
Kind of got lucky there. So when I made it a flexible goal, it's because part of me was realized going into this, nobody knows who I am. Nobody really knows, anything about me. I'm probably not going to make the goal, but I'm going to make this book no matter what. So, I made it flexible so that the funds can go towards the creation and fulfillment of the books, along with the money that I make. Yeah.
Hopefully, the funding is reimbursing what you've got put into it already, and then you're just lessening your losses rather. We're losing it again.
Wait, what was that again? I'm sorry. Yeah, here we go. I got you. What was that?
Hopefully the funding is reimbursing you rather than adding to it, so that you can actually, cut your losses some on it. Rather than go even deeper into cost.
Well, I guess, well, part of me, like I said, part of me has saved up some money, and then part of me thinks that it's ultimately an investment into my future a little
Yeah.
bit. Because, like I said, nobody knows who I am right now. Um, but as far as once this first set of books are printed, once fulfillment's done, and people realize, okay, this guy is serious, I have a book in my hand. When I start working on book 2, which takes us to the second half of the tournament, there'll be more people willing to put their trust in me. And then, one of the things that I'll have is, oh, hey, you can buy a bundle pack of book 1 and 2.
Excellent. Planning ahead.
So even if it costs me a little bit.
Planning ahead. That's good.
Yep. I'm in this for the long haul, so I'm really thinking as far ahead as possible. Like I said, this thing is over 100 pages. The whole storyline's framed out at about 7 books. So one of the cool things, like I said, with the Become a Character thing is you'll be able to go throughout the life of the storyline or through most of the storyline. And I've thought this through for years. I came up with the storyline about 4 years ago. And so when I decided, okay, I'm going to do this, I really thought about it. And I made this decision, I think it was August of last year, that, okay, this is something I'm definitely 100% going to do. Let me figure out how I'm going to do it. And then that's when everything started going.
All right, so it's $10 for the digital version, the PDF, $20 for 140 pages, and that's it, folks. That's there's no stickers or tchotchkes or cards.
Yeah, I do have some add-on perks. So one of the things that I do at conventions and stuff like that is I make metal art panels, metal bookmarks, and bottle openers.
Oh, cool.
So as some of the add-on perks that I have, it's like metal bookmarks, and then I also have metal bottle openers.
Metal's something you don't get a whole lot of. It's usually, cardboard.
Right. And so I thought the sublimation thing was really cool, and it's actually something I started kind of offering to some of the other CG people. Is like, hey, if you want, sublimated metal bookmarks of your characters for your backers, just let me know.
So I'm scrolling through the art, and by the way, we have some new art here, folks. This hasn't been released yet. It's not on the IGG. These characters look very real, which leads me to think that perhaps these are some of your purchased Become a Character characters.
Yep. The top 4 there on that top panel and the 4 on the bottom left are all backers that back the Become a Character perk. And then we're currently working on the pages where we're adding the other people that have also become backers. So we've got about 6 to add in right now.
That's very cool. And whoever you got drawn he's got a nice style to him. He's gonna be busy with that guy's tattoos all the time. You're probably sitting there saying, "God damn it! Why do we get the book? Get in the book." He's got this ornate tattoo thing. And then we got these are the Celestials. I'm gonna guess that you're talking about.
Hold on one second. I lost you again.
Yeah, you're cutting out again.
Oh no. Here we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You were cutting out now and then, but I can still hear you.
No. Okay, I think it should be better now.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Like I said, I just finished the middle of a 3-day move and haven't set up my computer yet, so kind of going with what I can. I'm so sorry.
You're working on 5G, man. We understand. It's I'm guessing the Celestials here.
Yep, those are our 3 celestial beings that come down to the King of Atlantis and say, "Hey, we didn't design this world this way. What are you doing? Bring them back."
See, that's why you build your technology to get rid of the Celestials first.
Right. You got to take out your strongest ones first, and then
exactly. You don't work your way up.
No.
Let me see if I can bring the. Where am I at? I can't get rid of the picture. Oh, I have gotten rid of the picture. There we go. Heroinberg in the chat was asking who the interior artist was. I'm going to go up here and see if his name is listed.
Oh no. It's weird. I'm like not moving, but yet.
Well, I can hear you.
Okay, here we go. Oh, so my interior artist. Yes, his name is Wilsa Sapredi. I've tagged him up on Twitter. It took me a little while to convince him to get on Twitter. I'm like, hey man, you're really talented. A lot of these guys here at CG would love to see your work. Love to see some of the stuff. I'm like, you need to get on Twitter, and he's like, okay. So now he's on Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah, he'll hate you next year for that.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. That's okay. That's next year me's problem.
Yes. And unless next year's you creates a time machine and comes back and stops this year's you,
right?
You're there. So I like the simple campaign. It's you get the book or the PDF, and we can draw you in if you want. You don't have to get it's I've got a kid. You give him too many choices, he can't make one. You have two choices. I'll take this one. It's easy.
Right. I came to learn there's like a science to that. When I was doing, conventions before the whole COVID thing, one of the things that I learned was like the science of options. So I would have metal art of a bunch of different characters, hundreds of different characters, whether it's, and then you'd see them bookmarks, 5x7s, 12x18s, and like some people were just like, oh, I see that, I love that, I want that, and they just get it. But then others are like, I like so many, I don't know what to choose. And then most of the time they just kind of get like their head would explode, and then they'd be like, all right, thanks, I'll see you later. And then I was like, oh man. So then I learned there's a science to, you want to give people options, but not so many options that they're overwhelmed.
Not many options, right?
Right.
So,
but with me, it was just the options that I kind of understood, because like I said, I've never done an Indiegogo before, so I was like, okay, doing a digital copy sounds good. Doing a hard copy book, good. Well, making the character good, and then like I said, just adding the what I already do on the side to that, just seems simple.
Not only do you have the option of whether you want a digital or a physical copy of Galden for Indiegogo, you've actually got your option of Indiegogos.
Yes.
Running over here. Reclaiming Zandara. And this is another 100-page book. This is another flexible goal, so it's one that's going to happen. Hopefully that 365 means it's the first 30 days on this one.
No, this is the same second 30 days. Not many people feeling Reclaiming Zandara at all, I know. It's weird. I love this one too. I mean, I get like the art for Galden is really, really good. It's really, really detailed, and it fits the story really well. But I also love the art for this, and the storyline is actually really cool.
And this one's in color. So
yes, and this one's going to be like a traditional Japanese manga where you have to read right to left. So that's the other important factor with this one.
All right, and again, it's $25 for a hard copy. $10 for the.
And it's going to be autographed.
Oh, very cool.
So you get an autographed copy.
And it's the same options. You can become a character, or you can get the digital and or physical copy.
And if you become a character with this one, it's not you're getting cameoed in, but you basically have your own chapter in the book as opposed to actually being a part of the story.
I got you.
So in this one, from the very beginning, like you said, he's just sitting at his desk, and then aliens descend, and so news guys that were covering this one story see this alien ship, and then everything goes awry. As we scroll down, our main character's like, oh, what's going on? And he looks out the window, sees this alien ship, and he just starts bolting out out of his apartment, down the stairs, and he's running for dear life. And as you see here, during that run, this explosion happens near him, throws him, and just before he passes out, he sees this alien walking around with this gun. And when he comes to, there's this woman here, and she's kind of, he's like, hey, what's going on? And she's explaining, to him that, these aliens came down, they captured everybody. And then it goes into what happened while he was unconscious, that we tried to fight the aliens as best we could, but their superior technology we couldn't get past. We tried, tanks, jets. We got these guys here with, Molotov cocktails and hockey sticks. And as you can see there, he got choke slammed against the wall. It didn't really work out too well for him.
Oh, yeah. F-15s won't take him out. Let's throw rock.
Yep, we got it. It's gonna be great. And then so now once he learns that, he's back in the ship. This energy beam comes and picks him up and takes him to these two aliens, who then take him out of this room where everybody's at. And as they take him in, boom, they set him down on the ground, or throw him down on the ground, and there he is before their leader, this like 20-foot monstrosity. And so here he is. He's similar. Yeah, I'm kind of doing that, but those where it's going to be is actually his antennas. So he'll be an alien that has antennas, and it's like a fur around that. So he's sitting there. He's like, hey, man, don't eat me. I'll teach you everything you need to know about this planet, what food's great, what meat tastes good. It's definitely not human meat. Don't eat me. And he didn't have anything, didn't want anything to do with it. So they put him back in with a different group of people. Everybody's sitting around, and then, the ship starts moving, and boom, they're back down on Earth, right?
Right.
Even this guy over here on the right there, he's like, oh, you could have dropped us off closer to home, and everybody's cheering. Then there's this loud roar sound going on, and you see the silhouette of this monster here. And this is when, he looks up and he comes to realize, oh, crap, we're not on Earth. So everybody scatters and tries to flee and take cover. And so this is actually our first chapter.
It's an alien relocation service.
Yeah, exactly. The Planet Express for humanity.
We could have killed you all, but so somewhere along the way, we're going to find out why the aliens moved them to what looks like a perfectly nice planet, other than the flying monsters that want to eat you.
Exactly. Yep. This story is going to be kind of unique. So with this story, everybody who's on the planet is somebody that's done something terrible in their life. So what the alien leader was actually doing was looking into them to see, what kind of a person they were. If they were good, they ended up actually staying on Earth. And people who've done like bad things end up being transported to this planet. And what ends up happening is they start getting into situations where it's similar to the acts that they did on Earth. And so they have a chance to basically realize what they've done and kind of, come to terms with it and understand it and choose to be better. Or if not, they end up dying a terrible death.
This is Galactic Lost.
Yeah, it's Galactic Lost meets Saw, in like a weird way.
Cool. So our hero is actually a bad person.
Yes. Well, kind of not. Yes and no. And that's the reason why he's so he's in this situation. If you look at the very first page, he's learned, the news is talking about somebody who killed themselves, and they killed themselves because of some, basically not fitting in anywhere, being trolled everywhere he went, being trolled on the internet kind of thing. And so this guy basically was the dude that was like, oh, really digging at this kid. And so this kid ends up taking his own life. And so our main character actually like feels bad about it. He's like, oh crap. But he hasn't really come to terms, like, come to that point where he's really taken it all in. And so that's why he ends up on this planet. And one of the things is he which we haven't gotten into, but when he's on the planet, he's like, oh crap, this is, karma for what I did, with that kid or whatever. And he's actually willing to take the L and just, die. And then that's when our alien leader actually comes in and says, listen, you're not a bad dude. You made some mistakes. I can tell you're actually really, really good at heart. I actually need your help. The alien leader is basically going to say, humans are brought to this planet primarily to learn from their mistakes and actually like be better people. But more people are dying by other people than by the actual monsters on this planet. So our alien leader is actually going to give him powers and say, listen, I want you to go back to this planet and help these people realize what's going on and why they're there. So it's going to become this guy's redemption story to try to help these people and basically save their lives.
That's a very cool idea for a book. And this is book 1, so this is also going to be a larger arc.
Yes. This is framed out for 8 stories right now, like 8 whole books.
Okay.
And I'm leaving it open-ended just in case people really, really like it, because the first 2 books take you through what goes on the planet, and then after that, you kind of learn why this alien guy and this crew of people are actually doing this. And turns out the alien leader is actually not a bad guy. He's doing what he's got to do to save the universe.
All right.
So it culminates in this.
He's a hand of justice.
Kind of, yeah.
All right. I like that.
He's like
story.
that mixed with Thanos.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not snapping my fingers and disintegrating you. I'm snapping my fingers and putting you somewhere else for a while.
Yeah, and you might disintegrate yourself. We don't know. The options are there for you to go back to Earth. Like, it's cool.
Exactly. You can let yourself out of this prison if you learn your lesson.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 2 books here. 140 pages for $20, and 140 pages color for $25.
Yep.
Both are deals. This is. I think I wish they'd been separate. I wish they'd launched separately, man.
I know. I have actually really regretted doing that, and it's one of the hard lessons, the harsh lessons that I've had to learn.
Well, let's see if this makes you feel any better.
Huh?
Let's see if this makes you feel any better. You just went up to $400 on reclaiming Zandara.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome.
BAP2 in the chat did that. That's our shake and bake moment.
It's shake and bake, and I
Awesome.
So we've helped a little bit here.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thank you.
And I'm sure it helps the readers to know that it's flexible goal. It's going to happen. So it doesn't matter that we get to the 2,500. But we'd like to.
Like I said, when I was on Wise Guy's channel, he was explaining how with the flexible goal thing, people would actually be weary of it because that would mean I would get the money no matter what. And with the history that we talked about, me learning how that could be kind of seen as a bad thing. And then he was like, oh, but once you've explained to me that like you did it because nobody knows you and you're planning on making these books no matter what, and you've been doing all this work at FedEx, like it makes sense now. And so, but it was nice because every stream that I've gone on, it's like I've taken something away and I've learned something. And so I can definitely be a better creator and crowdfunder
everyone's on
after these get fulfilled.
Yeah, everyone's on now because we've had people get up to like $37,000 and like, oops, lost it. And it's So BAP2, you were not here for Galden. Galden is every 1,000 years humans and demons fight for who gets to control the planet. The last 1,000 years have been controlled by demons, and every 1,000 years the humans got to relearn the fact that there's a contest coming on because we don't live as long.
Well, we're hoping that with humanity, that hopefully there's no dark ages after this, and they, continue to remember that this exists. And actually, the outside of that, there's more to the story. And actually, if you scroll down to the bottom of, I believe, page 4,
One.
You might see there's a little bit of
What's happened here?
foreshadowing.
This bat I'm just, wow. I just love that bat.
Everybody loves that bat. Everybody loves that bat. And
Now,
the
this, by the way,
demon
is
lord.
manga, but reads forward.
Yep, this will read like a traditional American comic. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you see here on the very bottom panel there, his eyes look a little different.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of foreshadowing.
He's gone cat's eye.
Huh?
He's gone cat's eyes there.
A little bit of demon eyes there. So he's got his normal eyes, a little bit of demon thrown in there, and so he's going to have his own personal journey as he goes through discovering who he is and where he actually comes from and stuff like that, while also competing in this tournament.
So it's possible that you're going to have demons competing against the humans, and one wild card who happens to be a Nephilim.
A little bit of both. Yep.
So that would be.
I said, this.
That would throw a kink in things. Somebody to unite the sides.
Yeah.
He's of both worlds.
Yeah. Possibly. Like I said, the first two books are going to take us through the entire tournament, but this is set up for 7 as of right now. So we learned that after the tournament, things don't go as planned, which is, typical of a long-term, storyline. That things aren't always going to end the way that they should, and so there's a lot more to it other than the tournament. And there's going to be a lot of personal growth through our main character, and also the people that became characters. They'll have their own personal growth stories throughout the books.
Now, we see this character a lot here. He's not one of the Celestials, obviously a demon.
Yes, he's our demon lord. He's the leader of all the demon race. So basically it kind of cuts away to him and this lesser demon's like, oh, you've been kind of agitated, kind of what's going on. And he's like, it's time, because it's time for the tournament to start. And it's time for the people to get selected. So when I initially launched this book, I only had the first 5 pages done because I wanted to have this become a character perk and stuff like that. So I launched it with the 5 pages, let people see kind of the art style that was going into it. And then this is the last page that we've done, which is page 16, which, like I said, it has the first half of the people that became a character so far, and then we're going to start this week getting into the next half that I've already had selected, paid for the become a character perk, and we're going to start getting introduced to them, and then continue moving forward.
These backgrounds are very textured. Some very nice design work. It's almost Kirby-esque.
Losing you again.
Hello.
I'm gonna get you back.
Testing. Am I there?
Robot voice.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
I gotta start talking like a robot and just freak him out and make him think it's still broken.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for your patience with this, man. I'm so.
No, I've been there, man. I've been there.
Yeah.
But I was saying this looks very much Kirby-esque, Kirby-inspired, which is always a good thing.
There we go.
I mean,
it's I love the way this came out because me and Wilsa we talked about things and we were like, okay, we're gonna do the Celestials and it's great. It's been really great working with him because we have this open communication, and if there's something that needs tweaked, he'll do it. If he has questions, clarifications, he'll have no problem asking. I end up being really, really detailed. There we go. Somebody put it up in chat. Awesome. And so it's been phenomenal working with him. He's truly talented and just overall great to work with because our communication is great, and that's what's helped to make the story awesome and this art look so good.
Yeah, especially for people being drawn into the story, it really looks like
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's a caricature. It looks.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is the guy right there in the middle with the full sleeve. That's actually his tattoo.
Yeah,
He's a buddy of mine, and I went over and I took pictures of like all around the arm, inside, the inside of the arm, outside, and so Wilson managed to put that in there exactly how it looks.
Wilson's got to be cussing you out every time he draws this character. Like, I hope this guy dies soon.
Right? Like, can I get this guy's arm cut off immediately?
He probably just got the tattoo on a layer now, though, and he just says, "Okay, wrap it around."
Right.
That's what
there
I
we
would.
go. That's what. Yeah, that would make perfect sense. I don't know if that's how he does it, but man, I may have to DM him like, hey, you can do this.
Supposedly you can do it. I have no idea. I am not an artist. I make Matt Fiesel's Bean World look like the Mona Lisa when I talk about something. So this has been very cool. We got two very interesting books here. Both are mangas.
Yep.
Both are going to happen. I would love this to happen more than it is. I'd love them to happen full. I mean, this actually had a much lower goal, by the way. This was a $2,500 goal.
I did. Once one of the reasons is, like I said, I launched Galden first, and for like that first 10 days, I had only had like a couple backers, and I was like, well, maybe it's asking too much for, somebody that nobody knows, So when I did Reclaiming Zandara, like I said, I've saved up some money to, through working at FedEx to be able to pay for this stuff. But I figured, you know what, if I ask for less, maybe, it'll be easier for people to get behind than saying, hey, you've never seen me before. You don't know who I am, but give me $5,000.
I've seen a lot of people, especially if they're their own artist, so they're not paying somebody out of pocket,
right.
do the minimum, which I think is like a $500 flexible goal. Because then, and this is, again, insider baseball for the Indiegogo market. When you hit $501 and you're over 100% funded, you get $1,000 that says 200%. You kick off that little algorithm in Indiegogo that says, hey, this is a hot one, because we're just reading the percentage line. Throw it up to the front page of comics. So when people say, what new comics are out there, yours starts to show up higher on the list as like, this is one that people are interested in. Maybe you will be too. So you're no longer just relying on Twitter, but you're getting backing from Indiegogo to promote your book.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so this is definitely my takeaway from this stream. I have not heard that yet, and that's really good info to know. Thank you.
That's a marketing secret that they use. But again, to do that, you've got to set a really low goal, like the $500 one. So you got to be making sure for that you can make it.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are like, I really do need 5,000 out of this, but I'm going to ask for 500 and hope for the push, and it's a gamble.
Right. And I did the exact opposite. I was like, oh, I can do this, but here, give me like, obviously it's paying somebody out of pocket has a lot of cost to it, and then obviously fulfillment will have a lot of cost. But and I was trying to basically make as much of that through crowdfunding and less on the pocket, so that I can work on the projects more.
Yep. Well, see, and see, there you go, Bat, too. You've never seen his stuff on Indiegogo. That's because this is his first two campaigns. So he's got two campaigns running at one time.
Yep.
Because he's learned.
Yeah, this is the first time you're seeing it, because first time I've put anything out.
So the thing you've really got to do now is to make sure you put both books out, because what that will do is that'll position you to be the first person to run two campaigns and fulfill two campaigns, and they'll be like,
at the same time,
this guy's a freaking workhorse. And
I am. I don't know why I do this to myself. No, I'm just kidding. The thing is I for the longest time I've had so Reclaiming Zandara was the first storyline I came up with 6 years ago, and then Galden was about 4 years ago, and at this point I have 5 full-fledged crazy epic storylines that are completely different going on in my head. So actually getting this out on paper is great. It's kind of like, okay, now I can erase that out of the memory banks. I don't need to keep that stored, and gives me back a little bit of sanity.
Well, good luck. I think you're doing
Thank
okay
you.
for, just coming out the gate,
Mhm.
again, with nobody knowing you.
Yeah.
The key is getting on the shows.
Yeah.
The bigger key is getting on better shows than this one.
Nah, you got a great show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We try to get people on here and help them out.
Yeah. For me, I got lucky. My initial push, my first like $900 was, friends that have known me for years that backed the become a character part because they really wanted to see themselves as a comic book hero and stuff like that. And so that was really good to have that initial push from friends, and then started going on shows and talking to people, and that's been really great. And then got a really big plug from Ethan Van Sciver. He I was on a stream with Ryan Wynn and John from Magna the Last Pantheon. And so we were doing a stream, and they were just, afterwards Ryan's like, "Hey, next time Ethan's doing a stream, why don't you send him a super chat about this? I think he'd like it." So I did, and Ethan ends up just putting it on the stream, like the whole campaign through all the pages, and he's going through, and that was a big thing. That put that up there a lot. So that was really good.
I'm going to bring something up here because you mentioned somebody. Ryan Wynn, we've had him on the show, and we got along so well. He's doing a head sketch for me.
Nice.
Because I don't know if anybody can ever tell by looking at the background. I'm kind of a huge Batgirl fan, the original one.
There you go.
So he brought this together for me. He said, "Here's the pencils. I haven't inked it yet." I'm like, I almost want to tell him, "Don't bother. Don't ink it. Just right there. Just stop." That's
pretty cool.
So that's why I saved the WIP version of it.
Now you know what you can do, which would be a little crazier for you if you want. If you get like a sketch like that from Ryan done, you can have that one that he sends you, but you could also send me that, and I could put it on metal and like immortalize that in metal behind you.
I had 20 years ago, lost it in a move somewhere. I think I know what happened to it, but I can't prove it.
Right.
I had a sketch drawn up, and it was just the pencils by Al Bigley. He's been doing some Avengers work, but it was Batgirl standing in front of a full-length mirror, covering herself because she was changing clothes. So she had like the costume. It was tasteful. She was holding the costume up against herself, looking in shock in the full-length mirror, and then staring out of the full-length mirror was Batgirl holding the costume in the mirrored pose. But it was real-world Batman the Animated.
Yeah. Oh, and that's awesome.
My plan was to get somebody like Rick Burchett to ink the animated one, and then somebody else to ink the real-world one, and just kind of make it a team effort. And somewhere along the way, that damn thing got lost.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's a huge sucks. That will never happen again. Because I keep all my stuff under lock and key now.
There you go. You got to keep those things valuables safe.
Yes, I absolutely do.
I had that happen. I did something for a friend. He wanted something in metal, and it was it was a 2-piece Grateful Dead piece. And so I did this awesome 2-piece 12 by 18 panel Grateful Dead poster. And like a month later, I see him. And I'm like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" He's like, "Man, I had a bunch of people over at my house for a party, and somebody stole it." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm systematically going over to their houses like unannounced just to be like, 'Hey, how's it going? Let's hang out to see if I find it.'"
Yeah, I would. So you do,
right?
You mentioned this early on. You go to conventions and sell these metal bookmarks and
metal bookmarks, bottle openers. I do everything up to 12 by 18 metal prints of different characters, comics, anime, video games. I've been doing it since 2015.
So how's that process work? I mean, is that you have a machine that does that, or you do this by hand?
So I draw everything digitally because digital art saves my life. That back button is my best friend.
Yes.
And so then I print it out with a special type of ink and a special transfer paper. And then I heat press it at 400 degrees. It's a process called sublimation.
Okay.
And so what happens is when you press it, the ink turns from a liquid to a gas form and molecularly bonds with the metal that is being pressed to. So then the metal actually becomes that image that you have.
That is very cool. I've seen all kinds of different metal art. Not technically art, but I went to IT school where I got my bachelor's degree, and I was there with the hardware people, and they would they had this liquid ferrous oxide, which is known as liquid rust. And they basically draw the circuit boards on these solid sheets of copper, and then whatever it was drawn on was like resistant to the stuff, and then they would dip it in the liquid rust, which would melt away with the other metal, and then they pull it out and then you wipe it off, and that's how you get circuit boards.
I've seen a video about that. That stuff's pretty cool.
So that'd be like, if you were able to draw in that kind of thing and then dip it and pull it out and melt it, you'd have a circuit board layout of, your character artwork. Whatever's left is what you drew. Right.
That's pretty cool.
And then, of course, also growing up in Sparta, Illinois, where every comic in the world was printed in the 70s, the metal plates that they used for printing the covers, I used to have some of those, of some Donald Duck covers. They were in my course, obviously, because they were like, you had to press them down onto the paper. But metal is an art that, it's going to last. It doesn't biodegrade as
no, it doesn't.
Does.
There's a lot of value to it because I'm telling you, the first one I printed in 2015 looks as brand new as the day I printed it. It's I love doing that, and so it's funny. Like I talked to certain creators, I just started kind of saying like, oh hey, I do this. So if you ever need something for your backers, like you want to have something as like an add-on or like a swag perk thing, like I'll hook you up.
And yet you didn't do it for your own thing.
Oh, it's an add-on perk. I haven't done like a swag thing because literally that's all I've got. But the bookmarks and the bottle openers are add-ons. So once you actually select your thing, it'll ask you if you want to do like the add-on stuff. And so
because you don't have any pictures up front here to show it.
Right. And I literally just dedicated the front to the pages and stuff like that. So
you should,
definitely something I should definitely add for future campaigns.
You should have the bookmark and the
bottle
bottle.
This one's only got like 4 days.
Yeah, just put the logo on it. Just a metal card with the logo on it. That's all you need. That would look very cool, especially this claiming. This already looks like circuit board stuff.
It's very similar to that. Yeah.
So
actually, I printed the 12 by 18 version of that, and for me, and I loved it. It was awesome.
Now, does that heat press? Is that color ink, or is that just like a monotone?
No, it's a color ink.
So you get multiple colors.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No. It literally looks just like that. Like except for I use so there's different types of metal that you can get. You can get like a gold finish metal, so like stuff like your like wanted posters and stuff like that will come more with that rustic look. You can get them with a white sheet, which is really, really good for like animated characters like this with a lot of color. And then they have some with like a mirror finish, which gives you like it's super, super reflective, almost like holofoil.
Okay. I hook up one of the other services we do for free here. I hook up one crowdfunder with another crowdfunder who says, you guys can work together on something. Frequently, it's 3D action figures because I know a guy who does excellent 3D prints.
That's awesome.
George Peter Gatsis, by the way. If you need something 3D print, hit him up. But you need to go catch Mike Murphy at Chibi_Mike on Twitter. Because he's doing grave robbers, and he has wanted posters.
Ooh.
And I bet he would love to see a wanted poster in metal and find out what he could do to get those as perks for the next book.
I'll definitely reach out to him for sure. That'd be awesome.
Okay, done my part.
There we go. You've done
Made
your
the
bit.
love connection.
That's right.
Well, Brandon, these books are going to keep you going for quite a while, so I guess there's not another series bobbling around in your head that's going to come out in the next campaign, or?
There is another storyline that I'm thinking about starting to, at least not like actually put out as a campaign yet, but actually start kind of laying the foundation for, and then finding a really good artist to, a couple of good artists to work with. I definitely want somebody that's really good with line work and shading and inks and stuff, and somebody that a really good colorist, because the other storyline that I want to work on is kind of it's a mixture of a lot of different things. It's like Breaking Bad meets Bloodshot meets Death Note meets One Piece, kind of this amalgamation, which is like a crazy epic story. And so it's one of those ones that needs a really, really strong artist that's good with like coloring and inks and stuff. So
Got it.
that's something that I probably will start. One of the things I learned early on from Edwin over at Drawing Aces is doing the mailing list 2 months before you launch.
Yep.
And so probably start kicking off a mailing list for that.
And
Maybe. And what was that?
throw a perk into it to induce people to use it.
Yes. He ran through that whole thing. He's like, you need to do this, bro. And I was like, okay. I took a lot of notes. So maybe do that around June next year once I actually get in contact with somebody, get some pages drawn up, and actually start working on that part.
Another thing you can do is run a contest.
Okay.
I'm going to pop down here and show you. This is my contributions. So this is all the stuff that I've bought into. Bought more when I had a job.
Mm-hmm.
And these are all, yeah. So it'll come back, guys. It'll grow. These are all my referrals. Now, if you pick that little paperclip link on your page there,
mm-hmm.
instead of just taking the URL at the top, and you share it,
yeah,
Indiegogo knows that I'm the one who shared it. So you can run a referral contest that says, hey, whoever refers the most buyers to this campaign will get a metal print of whatever. Make it a really nice print. But then you say, okay, this guy referred 7 people. He's the guy who won, and then you announce it and you send it off, and he's real happy.
Yeah.
You've got people not only backing it, but trying to get their friends to back it so that they can win something.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had no idea.
I didn't know what this was good for until somebody explained it to me. Said, "Oh yeah, you could actually run a contest because not only can I see who I've referred, but each one of these people can see that I referred them."
Oh, nice.
So
that's really, really cool. I had no idea that feature was there.
There's a lot of stuff in here. George is in the chat. George, speak of the devil and his imps shall appear. We were just talking about your 3D prints and his dye sublimation metal prints. 3D metal figures. No, we're not going to go. We have dye sublimation on them, so they're actually colored. Which basically
I've actually done something like that. So I have it's a place that does prosthetics, and so there's people that get like prosthetic limbs or whatever, and they like for instance like somebody in the military who used to have like a full sleeve, creating the same kind of tattoo sleeve on the on the thing. Dang it, now I can't. Now I can't think of the word. I just said it like 20 times. No. On the actual prosthetic. There we go. So actually replicating the tattoo on the prosthetic.
That would be very cool. I was thinking of doing it on a smaller scale, obviously, but then we're just reinventing Micronauts.
No, that's cool.
So
I like that 3D metal sublimation action figures. Let's do it. There's got to be a way.
So George, I don't know what you're backing, George, but we have 2 crowdfunders going on here. So if you're backing Galden, thank you. If you're backing Zandara, thank you. These are both
Thank you. Yeah.
Really different stories, really cool stories. I'm putting $5 down right now on the fact that Galden ends with the Celestial saying, humanity is finally going to rule for the next whatever thousands of years. We must come back and make sure that they're living correctly, and maybe take the not nice ones away to another planet to learn from their mistakes. You see what I did there? I just took the end of Galden.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah. I do that sometimes. Crazy ideas. All right. So
I like it. That was great.
Is there anything about either of these campaigns? Oh, look at that, 2630. This one just jumped up on you.
Thank you.
So
I'm guessing that's George.
That would be George. George, I got too many things on here. You earned our shake and bake moment again.
Shake and bake, and I help.
I'm going to do that every time somebody backs something. It's just
there we go.
I just like it that much.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
And reclaiming Zandara. Well, it won't show up yet. He just backed both, but it's in there. So.
Oh, thank you, George. You're the man. Very, very much appreciated.
So flexible goals, they're going to happen.
Yes.
140 pages each one for $25. It's just a hell of a deal.
Yeah. Well, so one of the really cool things that I kind of didn't get to talk about, or I didn't have a chance to kind of bring up. So I got connected with a voice actor named Vic Mignogna.
Oh,
and
a voice actor named Vic Mignogna. Okay.
The voice actor named Vic Mignogna.
Commercials named Orson Welles.
There we go. When I originally came up with the concept of reclaiming Zandara, I thought, doing it as an anime, and I thought, oh man, a great character would be like that Edward Elric voice. And then ended up getting to meet him. We talked a lot. He actually really fell in love with the reclaiming Zandara story, and he was just like, once you get this in a book form, I can take this to investors to invest in getting an anime done.
Now was
and
it
I was like,
before the whole kick dick
stuff?
No.
No. This was afterwards. I've been I stand with Vic since the beginning. I've met both of them, through convention scenes and stuff, and yeah, there's no way. There's just no way that guy did any of the stuff that they accused him of. And actually, no, when we had this conversation, it was this past August, actually.
Okay, cool.
So
where'd you find a campaign? Well, no, past August. Where did you find a convention to go to last August?
We were in UltraCon in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay, because damn, I think every convention I would go to has been
canceled my God.
Here.
Everything was been nuked. Everything's been nuked. UltraCon kept it going, and it was a smaller convention, but everybody kind of, it was still cool. It was really good to support a convention that was still willing to give it a shot and invest in it, and take a chance and stuff. So it was a really, really cool convention to go to. But yeah, everything's just been getting nuked this year, and I'm hoping that, I've got a convention coming up, Kamehacon, which is all Dragon Ball Z convention in Dallas in mid-January, and I'm hoping that it doesn't get pushed back again, because it was supposed to be in May, and then, COVID kicked it back to January. So fingers crossed.
George, I don't know what link you want. Saying please DM me the link. I will DM you any link in the world that's out there. I will
DM you every link. What can we do? George, you're the man. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah,
thank you.
You got to see. Okay, George's next game.
I'm in.
You're in.
I'm ready to see. Yeah, I'm ready to see what George has got. I mean, 3D action figures, you're talking it up, and I'm like, and I've caught some of your shows, and I know you're a man of taste. I'm really into seeing it.
Have you seen his next project?
No, I haven't.
For people who signed up on the newsletter for his next project, he does this space opera comedy thing, and you're going to get a 3D print of the spaceship.
What?
It's this friggin' big. We're talking like
No way.
I might be even underestimating here. It sounded like it was close to 3 feet long when it was fully assembled.
No way. That's awesome.
It's just incredibly huge.
That's awesome.
So you've got to check that out. In fact, I've sent so many people his way that he just keeps a list of links. Now he just cuts and pastes it rather than.
There we go.
He will probably. Oh, I bet he wants your Twitter. That's probably what the DM was.
Maybe.
And you are actually Phoenix Animati 1.
Yep.
So I just put that into the chat there, and now he can cut and paste it, and you'll have a DM probably from him when we're done here.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, reach out, George. Anything you need, buddy. I'd love to talk to you and see what you got going on, too. That sounds awesome.
So I'm guessing Vic would, of course, be voicing your main character here.
Yeah, like I said, when I originally came up with the idea, I had no idea who Vic was. This was like 6 years ago. And I came up and I was like, man, Edward Elric, that voice and the way he gets angry, but at the same time, like those deep tones that he gets when he's like sad or thinking about something, I was like, that would just be perfect for this character. And then it just so happened to be Vic. And funny story, he actually he grew up like 50 miles from where I live. And we got to shoot shit and reminisce about certain things in certain places. He used to be a cop in the place where I had my first beer as a 21-year-old, which is kind of funny. So we just started shooting stories about where he was a cop at and everything. It was kind of fun. I
gotcha. Yeah, I can see him as a cop too, because we've seen him in the Captain Kirk uniform now. So
yep. There's a short film. God, I can't remember. It's like Campfire Stories or something like that. Or I forgot the exact name, but he was a cop in the show. It was it just came out like a month ago, and I can't remember the name.
I would ask you to show some of your metal sublimation, but you probably still have it all packed away.
It is all still packed, unfortunately. I don't have anything. I had some of it up in previous streams, and I do have some up on Twitter. Because I started working with Amy from Reality Hackers, because she was getting close to her goal and was worried that she wasn't going to get there. And I was like, hey, I can hook you up with some bottle openers and metal bookmarks. And so I printed a few out for her, and she posted up on Twitter.
Very cool. George.
Oh,
George.
That was fast. I expected to be back here, picking my teeth and just chilling out.
Well, I was waiting for you to get your most embarrassing shot, and then I was going to bring you in then.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Once your guard's down, that's when he attacks.
Yeah, my Leslie Nielsen impression.
What's going on, George?
I have this was an easy back. I didn't even. I flipped through it real quick. I commend you on the presentation. It was very, very easy. I kid you not. I just like I'm going like yes, backed it. Yes, backed it.
Thank you so much.
That's extraordinary. In crowdfunding, it takes more than 2 or 3 minutes, because you have to go through and squint your eyes and try to figure out what's going on. And no, not this. Your presentation is perfect.
Sweet and simple and big pictures.
Yes, Thank you so much. Yeah, it's important. I really am very, very fortunate with the artists that I work with to really capture my vision for the pages and stuff the way that I wanted them to be, and it's been great, and I love the way that the campaign's turned out as far as the pictures.
We should throw him in the trash compactor tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. Tell me about your steps, how you produced your work. Kirby and Stanley, and Ditko, they had their shtick. Stanley had an idea. Ditko went off and did the work, and Stanley came back and put it words. That's just an example. What was it like? Because what I'm looking at, that's really freaking good, man. I mean, it's really.
Thank you.
It's really
Thank
good.
you so much.
So what is the steps that you've taken to produce such? It looks great, such great work. I haven't seen the whole book, but what I see, just wow.
You're going to see 140.
It's going to be spectacular.
Oh,
There's going to be a lot
of
of really, really cool dynamic images that we're going to have.
These are 140 pagers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Make wish you got paper.
Okay, I got to go unback and back it again.
Yeah, 140 pages, and not digest sized either, but full comic dimension size. So,
okay, I got to go back and unback it, and reback it.
Galden reads forward, and then Reclaiming Zandara reads backwards like a traditional manga, because he just mixes stuff up that way. It's how he's got two.
I'm ambidextrous.
That's freaking awesome.
I just I wanted to have something for everybody, because some people dig the Galden art style more, and some people really dig Reclaiming Zandara, and some people really like both. I guess the trick to how I came up with the ideas for the panels and stuff like that was, so I came up with the original like basic concept, and then I spent time kind of just building off of that in my head for a while, and then when it came down to visualizing it, I visualized it as an anime or and stuff like that. So I visioned it as an actual show first, and then had to break it down into, okay, I need this panel to look like this to show that this is happening. So it was kind of different than traditional comic book artists, because I know that they see the panel first, and and show things that way, and whereas I saw things as a show and a motion, and trying to capture that motion into the panel.
So you have storyboard experience?
No, none. This is my first everything. I'm just a FedEx driver from Northern Virginia that just came up with an idea, and then another idea, and then another idea, and then started moving on it. Okay,
that's extraordinary. So let's go backwards. You have immersed yourself in anime and animation, and you have been a religious viewer of it all.
Yep.
So I'm assuming through osmosis, it's saturated into your persona.
Don't listen to anything George has to say.
Testify. We're sending Brandon over to the Trash Compactor show tomorrow night to get more backers.
Well, we'll save you. You have too much nice drywall in your house to listen to George. I can see it behind your head.
He just moved in today.
We just finished up day 3 of a move.
You're gonna have many holes in your wall if you keep listening to George.
Yes.
Actually, listen to George until he brings up Ethan Van Sciver.
Oh man, I beat him to it. I brought up Ethan first.
Yeah, no, that's good. Bring up Ethan.
You've saturated your mind with all this work, and you're able to bring it out in your own work.
Yep. I originally saw my first comic book when I was 8 years old, and got into comics for a little bit when I was younger, and then but really got fascinated with animation, and like the original stuff I got into was the Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Sailor Moon stuff, and then started going backwards to like Fist of the North Star, Ninja Scrolls, Berserk, stuff like that.
Ethan Van Sciver's newest project's at $290,000.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
What was the first book that you experienced?
The first comic book was Fantastic Four Silver Surfer. I So my mom took me to this like cards and collectibles place because my dad collected baseball cards, and so she was trying to see if there's anything worth anything. And out of the corner of my eye, I just see this silver guy on the cover of this book, and I'm like, go over and I check it out, and I'm like, and I'd always been in, I'm 8 years old, but I was always into surfing because my uncle used to surf, and was always really into space. So I see this cover, and I'm like, wait, they have surfing in space? Nobody told me like I could do this. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? And that was like my first dive and initial experience into comics.
But you can't surf in space.
Yeah, but when you're
I know.
superhero is a valid career option.
Yes,
Oh.
Exactly. I said, wait, I can combine the two? Yes, this is happening.
I live in reality. I'm sorry. I have a hard time going into fantasy.
That's wonderful. At what point did your mind get blown when you saw Akira or Ghost in the Shell?
Oh my God. That was phenomenal to me. And that actually, Akira definitely plays into the style of Galden a little bit.
Did you know George sees in black and white?
I do.
What was that?
He sees things in black and white because he's
I
so
do.
old.
There you go.
And it's all sprinkled with a little color here and there, sepia tones.
That's how past to be viewed.
With a little scratchy
I love this
vertical
guy
line.
that has no clue who I am, and he's like, "Why is he talking to this guy like this?"
Okay, these two
Oh
guys.
no, all good. I know there's history. I'm totally new into this whole scene. So when I jump on a show and somebody's like, "Hey asshole," I'm like, "Okay, they must know each other because it's all fun and games."
Okay, so a quick history lesson. This is Testify right here. This is Testify right beside me.
That's a middle
There
finger.
you
Exactly.
This is Testify down here.
Yeah, he's the most hated man in Comicsgate.
Oh,
Yeah,
But listen to.
but listen to as well. He's the guy everyone loves to hate.
But he gets books backed, so that's
there
why.
you go. That's important.
That's why I said we're throwing you to the Trash Compactor show. They're both from the Trash Compactor show.
Nice.
George is
All
from
right.
there. Testify's from there. And you know,
Well, if you're going to be there, I'm not going to let George on just for your own sanity.
it's an open mic night kind of thing. You just
Cool.
show up and you click the StreamYard link that's in the chat. And you
Yeah.
just kind of show up. And you know, but by the time you're done, Soy Rage will have sold you a can koozie.
Oh,
There we go.
Look at that.
more shilling.
And more
Yeah.
shilling. You get your wristbands. They sell everything except comic books.
Oh, and for the
Ah.
record, my wife got me urinary pain relief pills today.
I'm so glad for you. Did you pass that damn thing?
Oh no! I
You
lost
killed
my
him.
phone.
You killed him.
You killed it. I died.
I'm on day 2.5 now.
That's a gift that keeps on giving right there.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
So this is
For Hero in the chat, yeah, Nora and Raid is awesome.
Oh wow.
my
Okay.
favorite of Galactus was Aunt May.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Aunt May Galactus. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay, so at what point after you saturated your life with all this and you were making notes and stuff like that in your head, playing it out, planning it out, at what point did you say, okay, I got to jump into this? I mean, I'm assuming you're married.
No, I've got a butt in a very serious relationship with an awesome woman.
Okay, you're married. Okay.
There you go. I said it correctly. Oh,
George, he just said he isn't.
Yeah, sure.
And then he said the TLDR was I'm married. It started with no.
Yeah. Okay. So, at what point did you say, "Oh, honey, I'm gonna devote some of my time and energy to this"? And it's just what happened?
So I guess when I came up with these storylines before I had met her, and I played with the creating the stories more in depth over time. I even tried to pitch it to Funimation and was told that they don't accept indie stuff because they're a dubbing studio, not really an animation studio. So I was like, okay. And I kind of gave up on that, but I still kept the ideas in my head. And it was around June of 2019 when I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it was a lot. It had a lot to do with the Vic Mignogna situation because a lot of people were like, we need another option in anime. We need a different option. You know, we can't deal with these things with just these two, you know, companies. And so I was like, well, I've had these ideas in my head forever. Why don't I just give it a shot? And that's when I started going, okay. I went through getting the business, you know, license in Virginia and all that stuff and getting certified. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then as I started progressing is when I realized, you know, how much it costs to do the animation. And then I was like, okay, I can't really do that. I spent like 2 weeks kind of in my head, like, okay, am I going to do this? If so, how? And trying to figure it all out. And then I kind of came to that notion of I am 100% going to do this.
Okay,
no matter what.
How much animation did you war plan in your head, in terms of seconds and minutes?
Oh goodness!
I need a plain $34.95. I want to order this Notre Dame T-shirt.
I mean, I've played out the whole storyline in my head, which is, you know, hours and hours and hours of show in my head repeatedly.
How much were you going to try to budget? Were you going to try to do some like a 10-15 second clip to show proof of concept?
No, I really kind of just was like, okay, I could probably do it in, like, to get the whole proof of concept, especially like for like a you know, an episode like this one. It'd probably have to be like a few minutes. Like, I really never, I guess I thought of things episodically for Reclaiming Zandara, but I never actually was like, okay, how would I do a pitch video? I never actually thought about it.
Cool, I'm gonna look in this polo shirt.
Wow. Testify your shopping.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm talking out loud. I thought I was muted.
No. Let's take a pause for a moment from what we're talking about. If you were to take an idea like a guy who has no legs, is in a wheelchair, and constantly runs around with a triangle on his head, how would you pitch him to an animation studio?
Oh no!
Oh, for $27.99, I could look awesome. Look at that.
I think he's looking for an answer like with a catapult, but I'm not 100% sure that's the pitch he's talking about.
Would that be a trebuchet?
A trebuchet, yes. Trebuchets are great.
Wow, you do listen to Ethan, George.
I love Ethan. Ethan's awesome.
$290,000. He could buy a lot of these polo shirts.
Awesome.
You know what? The cult of the frog. God bless them.
Because you can buy one polo shirt that's threaded in gold and platinum.
Oh, this is in gold. It's Notre Dame blue and gold. It's awesome. It's great.
So okay, you got all this, and you're thinking about all this, and the artwork. How long did it take to organize yourself with an artist? How did you find your artist? It wasn't overnight, was it?
Okay, so no. So originally I was actually kind of working with a different artist. So I had been referred to somebody, and they were like, "Hey, this guy's a great artist. You should check him out. He's done stuff for shows on Cartoon Network and stuff like that." And I'm like, "Okay, that sounds like a really good resume." And like I said, "Yeah, I talked to the guy. I was like, "Hey, show me some stuff that you've done." And he shows me these pictures and they're magnificent. And I'm like, "Okay, great." And so I start breaking down, panel by panel what I want, and this is what they're claiming Zandara. Breaking down panel by panel what I wanted this to look like. And then he starts sending me stuff and it's not good. And it was tough because I'm like, I actually spent a little bit of time like saying, "Hey, can you do these kind of tweaks? Can you do this? Can you add this?" And because everything was just like, it was weird. Like the lines weren't straight. Everything was just one color. There was no shading, no shadows, no light sourcing or anything like that on these pictures. And I spent like a month and a half with this guy, and then I was like, I just don't think it's going to work out. And then I spent about 2 months really looking for an artist, talking to people that I knew that had done different things in the manga industry before, and got into contact with this guy, and it's just been great ever since.
RJ, you
But
think
I
I'm
went through a
cool in this
hiccup
shirt?
of stuff where, like, it didn't work out. And,
It happens.
had
So,
bumps had bumps in the road.
So now that you and the artist that you have are working together, how synergistic is this? How long did it take you to produce the book from start to finish?
Well, the book's not produced fully yet. With Galden, it's we're only on page 16 because of the become a character perk. I launched it with only the first 5 pages done because I wanted people to become solid characters, not just cameoed in.
Red light going off.
And then with Reclaiming Zandara, it actually kind of started off a little slow. Like we were doing like 1 page every 2 weeks kind of thing because he was actually kind of working with somebody else, finishing up a project at the same time that he started with me. And now he's doing, 5 pages in a week.
Oh, that's a good click. That's standard vintage professional work.
Yep. He's going full time with it, so it's been great.
So you got an April 21 release date on both of these.
I'm actually going to end up having to push it back to July, just because I kind of especially with Galden, because I miscalculated like how fast we can produce. Like he's doing 5 pages a week too, but I guess I don't know. I just didn't calculate out, after the fact that I had only had 10 pages done.
Okay, so here's what you got to do. You have to put updates on these pages every 3 days.
Okay.
Or at minimum once a week to let people know where things are at and where they're going. Because if you go more than a month without an update, it's be like, what happened to this guy? Updates will buy you so much forgiveness in time.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start doing that. Yeah, I've kind of been talking about it on Twitter because I figured most of my backers that aren't personal friends came from Twitter or at least started following me on Twitter afterwards. But yeah, I'll start posting up more updates.
Yeah, put it on the page. That way they get an email right away.
Right.
Data has occurred. So keep them active and involved even after the thing is closed out.
By what I was told also, are
Okay,
you doing it on
will do.
Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
He's on Indiegogo.
Indiegogo? Sorry, my dogs are killing each other. I was told if you don't do an update every month, it actually violates the terms of service, but I don't think they enforce it.
I guarantee you they don't enforce it.
Yeah, but I've been told that is actually in the terms of service. You were supposed to update it at least once a month.
Huh.
I'm not
think
100%
I mean, maybe
sure
it is.
true.
I just didn't. It might be. I didn't see. I don't remember seeing it, but at the same time,
it's in the fine print. No one reads the fine print.
Right.
Yeah. No, I know. It's one of those things I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not. It makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, I mean, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
Don't let him in here.
Why not? I hate to tell you this, Brandon, but I opened up the stream entirely. I just put the link in the chat. Anybody can show up now.
Goodness.
I might have put it out on Twitter too.
Oh, hello.
But here, I need your opinion. What do you think of this shirt? I think it's cool. Just take a gander real quick.
Oh, I
think it's happening. Look at this cool thing.
What is
it,
it,
George?
Will your physique look as good as those shirts?
Oh, of course it will.
I say go for it.
I wonder who did
You don't think it's too much magenta?
I think it's taking Aquaman's camo suit and turning it into a shirt.
I'm not seeing magenta.
You scared away the guest.
George, I'm colorblind. Oh no, we scared away your guest. Oops.
The guest is
sorry. I didn't mean to.
The shirt that did it all.
There's no way I'm paying $90 for that piece of junk, though.
That's the kind of shirt where you wear it just before you go on a mission, and you're about to suit up.
I hope he just disconnected and he didn't leave.
He's actually lost power once before.
Is he part of this big storm hitting the Northeast?
He actually is on the East Coast, but he's using his
okay.
phone. So if his phone drained faster than it was being charged up, he may have just lost it.
Oh, that stinks.
Let's look at his campaigns one more time.
Let's do that because I've still got them pulled up here.
No, we don't need to.
And you know what?
This
Yeah, first.
looks like so much better than anything that I've seen from the orange koala.
Oh, is this a manger?
Yes.
This is a manga.
Oh, manga. I don't know if you call it a manga or a manga.
No, it's a manga, but he did it right. He chose a size,
How much more does he need?
and he stuck with it.
Oh,
He needs
half?
I back both of these
half
projects.
in 4 days in this one. But again, it's a flexible goal, so he's
So
doing
he's
it
going to
anyway.
get the money?
Yep.
Okay.
But,
I told you.
look at all of you.
I'm gonna get the money and run. Oh wait, no, I'm back in show.
I'm sorry
Oh no,
the shirt
I'm
scared
out.
you off. I'm sorry the shirt scared you off.
It looked like Grimace, like it was bad. No,
It looks purple to me. But I'm colorblind on certain colors.
But yeah, if we want to get this thing actually funded,
yeah, that would be awesome.
another 4 days. And this is the last 4 days too, by the way. This isn't like the imaginary first. The 4 days don't count. This is the 4 days that do count.
I only promise refunds.
Reclaiming Zandara, however, is on its first 30 days, right? No, it's on its second too. Reclaiming,
both are on the second.
Okay, both are on their on resuscitators.
So
Yep, they're on COVID ventilators.
Tell us about your artist. Where's he from? Is he an actual Japanese guy? Or what? Is he
He's from Greece.
So actually, so I have two different artists. Wilsa Cipreti they're both actually. So Wilsa Cipreti is the one that's working on Galden, and Kukuryuk Studios is helping me with the Reclaiming Zandara.
very nice?
George, is he doing this right?
Yeah, it looks like it's being done right.
Okay. I have to ask you because.
Again, there's no multiple covers or multiple variations of the project. It's just the book. And
No, there's 3 tiers. Get the book.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you either get the digital, get the book, or have yourself drawn into the book.
Oh, yeah, he's glowing in and out.
Oh, he's in that storm.
Yeah, but look at it. How many tiers? How many tiers is that?
3 tiers.
Exactly. How simple it is. And he's doing the book a standard comic book size, which actually speaks
George,
to.
you don't have to
people in
sell
North
me
America.
on it. Come on.
And here's the thing. He's smart because
It doesn't want me to. StreamYard doesn't want me to tell you about this stuff.
Yeah. Don't talk about.
Like I don't know why it just starts kicking me out and going no service, and I'm like,
Is it starting to storm there?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
snowing ever since
snow's
this
messing
morning,
up
and
the
it's
lines
actually
for
just
the
picked
signal.
up. Yeah, it just started picking up a little bit, but
Well, if George says you're doing it right, we'll try. What is a No, he's doing the George bit. No.
Is he eating it out of a jar
Yes.
with batteries in it?
Oh, you saw that?
Of course, I saw it. It was a great show, man. Thank you for mentioning me. But that battery bit.
I didn't mention you. He did that all on his own. I had no
I
clue
know.
what he was
But
bringing.
you mentioned me before. I go, wait a minute. I smell George in all this logistics stuff.
Well, no, that was the RJ thing, not the bit that was played later.
I know. But you mentioned me in there, so I was there in spirit. But that's a battery gag. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
pretty funny, actually.
That was amazing. I'm going like batteries in my meal
With Tylenol PM and rice mixed
this is the kind of stuff that you get on the Trash Compactor show, Brandon. But you will get your
If
book
George will vouch for you, we will try to sell you one book at least.
back. I've seen you sell more than one book to people.
I
Basically, they won't
I
end
can
the
only
stream.
promise probably one. I can't promise more.
They basically blackmail people into backing books because they're like, we won't end the stream unless we get one more backer. And people are like, oh God, end the stream now.
oh no, everything's going.
Are you, you're
Everything is
not
refreshing.
you're not having this. Are you translating this book at all? I mean, once you produce
Oh
it,
no, everybody's in robot voice. This is not good.
It's Storm's gonna kill him. Storm's gonna kill him.
Do you have a hard connection, or are you on a phone?
He's on a phone. He's 5G.
Oh, okay.
greetings from Earth. Are we still roboting? Yeah, we are.
Can you hear me correctly now?
Yeah.
Am I coming through?
What?
If you're doing this in robot voice on purpose, I'm gonna be really blown. Oh shit!
and crates are being dropped in his house while his wife unpacks the house.
Speaking of crates,
There we go.
Would you have your shipment dropped outside of your house in a flood?
No, I would never do that.
Oh, okay. Because there's some other manga artist or creator that did that.
Oh God.
I'm not gonna say who.
Well, it's okay. What? Because I'm sure all the books were in Ziploc bags.
No, they weren't. They were on a pallet, not wrapped.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So how you plan on shipping this stuff? In Gemini bags? What kind of shipping idea do you have for it?
Are they called Gemini bags or Gemini mailers? I get confused.
They're mailers. They're full. Well, no.
I thought they were grocery bags. I'm not sure.
No, that's a Wenger thing. He puts them in the Ziplocs. We showed that in the prop on the show last night.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, one of the perks of my job is like free boxes and stuff like that. So I'm actually looking into maybe designing some custom boxes and stuff like that to send everything out in.
That'll be cool.
Oh, you're gonna put some sort of chicken motif on the box?
Something
Like the great artist Ethan Van Sciver that came up with the chicken box that made over $1 million on that one campaign, George.
Yes. Or how about some sort of amphibian on the box, maybe?
So
there you go.
You're just talking about getting the right size FedEx box, though, right? Are you actually going to be able to print up boxes?
No, I think I might look into printing out boxes actually.
Cool.
Because I have access to free boxes, and I have some contacts and stuff like that with some people that can do printing on boxes, and for a fairly cheap price.
Oh, so what I'm hearing is
I might look into it.
So what I'm hearing is over a particular long period of time, you develop some certain skills that you're able to utilize to actually produce something.
Yes. I feel like that's throwing shade at a certain somebody in the group right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of skills, we sold socks and funded it in less than a day.
Nice.
Yeah. We are currently selling socks.
Socks.
Yep.
Cool.
Selling socks. That reminds me. I'm sorry. I forgot that this needs to be done.
Two types of people in the world. Those who are content to blend in. These people walk through life like beige socks, uninspired and bored. And there are those who expect more, exciting. They have pizzazz. Eventually, the beige sock people get lost, or devoured by the ones who stand out. Do you want to be devoured, Richard? No. What was right?
Why?
Why not? I've got the video. So, and Harlequin has asked me to play it on occasion. So
He asked everybody to play it.
Wait a minute. Was that the real Harlequin, or was that the uppercase single word Harlequin?
no, that was the real.
That was the real Harlequin. I don't know why everybody's got all these different accounts now.
It's because of the sock we're selling. Everybody wants to, have
We're
sock
trying
accounts.
to sell Phoenix Animations stuff.
You almost said crap. I heard you.
I
He
did.
He was that close.
I say it to everybody. I don't even shill our crap.
He said
Much appreciated, Testify. I appreciate that.
Last man, can you get some syrup in there, like maybe Aunt Jemima, maybe?
No. Oh
Oh,
God, he's doing the
oh,
full George.
oh yeah, it's beautiful. Look at that.
You know, George, you said that Brandon's doing this right, and he is. In fact, he's doing reclaiming Zandara so right that he's actually doing it in the backwards format, read right to left format that an actual manga would have.
But you read left to right.
Well, you read left to right. People in Japan read right to left.
But I live in the United States.
Well,
Yeah, some people just like to flip the book backwards.
there's a whole shelf full of stuff at your local Barnes and Noble that people have learned to read backwards.
What's a Barnes and Noble?
It's where royalty keep their horses.
That's called a stable.
Oh, well, that's Barnes for nobles.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's any Barnes and Nobles left here in Vegas.
I've got one down the street from me. I love going there and getting coffee.
Oh, we lost Phoenix
we
again.
lost him again. We're not talking about my book. I'm going to leave then.
I'm trying to get you back to his book.
Well, he's going to pop. He's going to fall off.
He's under 10 feet of snow.
No. He hasn't lost connection yet. He's just gone black.
Flip through the pages. Scroll down.
Let me start at the. Okay, story preview. This one is the Galden one. This is the one where the world has gone through periods of 1,000 years. The ruler is determined by a contest, whether it's going to be the demons in charge or the aliens or the humans in charge. And the demons are ruling the world right now, and the humans have gone through a dark age where they don't even know that there's a contest that
Look at
determines
that.
all.
Look at that artwork. Look at the clean presentation of that artwork. It's
I know.
beautiful.
I keep scrolling through here, and I keep stopping right here. This. Seriously?
Sorry.
Oh, the unprofessional George. Like normal.
This bat image here just gets me every time. I mean, this is something right out of Frank Miller.
It's beautiful. The presentation is so clean. The pages are crisp.
Where's the color at?
It's a black and white.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yes, it's a black and white. Now the other book is in color. So
let's look at when you finish scrolling through this. I mean, let's look at the color book.
Yeah, the color book, George.
I like the color.
Yeah. I got a colored book. I think everybody should own a colored book.
I didn't say book.
I like Colonel Sanders here.
I love chicken.
We lost him again. No, wait.
They're getting slammed, man.
He keeps
I'm back.
Can you hear us, Brandon?
Yes.
Okay.
I was making fun of this character. I said I like Colonel Sanders in the book being here.
Yes.
I don't know who he is. I just saw the goatee.
I mean, he is a very skinny Colonel Sanders for sure.
Yeah.
He was Colonel Sanders before he got before he learned the chicken recipe.
I like this image here, the perspective too, where you're looking up from the bottom, so that you can actually see the tread of his shoe, like he's walking on glass floor above you.
Yeah, it's really cool the way that came out. Because I was asking Wilson, I'm like, hey, let's make some like really, really cool dimensions and stuff where we see kind of like, especially like the boots there, they're like all torn at the bottom and stuff, like makes him look like he's, really into like manual labor, like, because that's one of the things that this guy's, they keep assigning him. They say, oh man, you're really, really strong for some reason. We're going to have you, digging the tunnels constantly because, they want to basically expand and be able to offer, have more space for people and stuff like that. So it really kind of speaks to the labor job that he has to do.
And then, of course, that's the bad guy, George, in case you weren't able to tell.
I
Looks
mean,
like a nice guy.
Well, George, you were. I don't know if you saw these pictures. These are the draw yourself as a character. And by the way, in Brandon's book, if you get drawn in as a character, it's not for a panel. You're in for the series. Your character is there unless he gets killed somewhere.
So if you put me in there, could I sue you after?
No, 'cause you paid for it.
Oh,
You paid for it.
damn it.
So you could be in the next 7 books as a recurring character, not just look, I'm in the crowd scene. I paid $175.
Can you draw extra wide images? Because I might do that to put K-Log in this book.
Oh, put somebody else in.
Yeah.
I'm paying to put this guy in the book.
He's a very large man.
I've literally had people say that, like, hey, can I pay to put this guy in so he could die in a terrible way?
No, I want him to be just horribly beat up and damaged, but he still lives the entire thing.
He just keeps getting beat up the whole time. He's like the running joke, like Kenny from South Park.
And his catchphrase will be, "I'm Polynesian." That's all you keep saying.
George, look at these celestials.
Zoom in. Okay, more zoom, please.
More zoom. I'm gonna zoom.
George, put on your bifocals.
No. Oh yeah, look at that.
That's really not cool, K-Log said. He's in the chat, the guy I was talking about. That's why.
That look at this. It's beautiful work, man.
Hey.
I'm not talking about line work. I'm talking about whole presentation. It is.
Even down to like you see the Celestials and they look cool, but they they really pop in the front. But if you look at the background, the amount of detail that he put into like right behind them, like just even in like the pillars, the different whites and blacks that he put in, just really makes it stand out.
And each one is distinct from the other. It's not like 3 generic looking space beings. This is 3. There's no mistaking one of these for the other at any time.
Right.
How experienced have these artists been? How long have they been in the business?
Wilsa's been drawing since 2017.
Now
this is a low res picture I've got too, by the way. So
yeah,
I saved this off of Twitter.
That's from my phone, like literally from my phone, sending it to you, like downloading it and sending it to you from my phone.
I gotta tell you that's an extraordinary decision to actually ghost the panels rather than have it white knockout. Mm-hmm. I've been doing that for 30 years, ghosting panels here and there, and because there's so much quality artwork underneath the balloons, the word balloons. It's a shame to have it knocked out without seeing what's underneath the word balloons, and it's a great decision on a technical level.
I see what you're saying there, like where it says it's time, you can actually still see his design through the word balloon.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the placement of the word balloons. They're minimalistic. They don't intrude on the artwork as much. I mean, they do not intrude on the artwork.
Did you know George farts
Yep.
dust?
That's great.
Just letting you know.
It's a fun fact. I do. Pixie dust.
I'm going to refresh this page one more time here. I was going to let you go 54 minutes ago, Brandon, and then we got invaded.
There we go. We got raided. It's great.
And now we're going to look at the color pictures again on Reclaiming Zandara.
Oh, I like the colored ones.
Everybody loves the colored ones. There they are.
Can you zoom in on that? Let's look at it closer.
Bifocals on.
I can zoom in. I get where you're coming from because I'm blind myself.
Yeah, that kind of zoom. Yeah, that's beautiful.
All right, I gotta go, George. You set it up.
I think I broke it, George.
Oh, too much. Pull back.
Zoom out. Zoom in enhance. Oh, that's too far.
Okay, how's that?
Okay. Let's go with this, which is basically where we started. Okay, go.
We're at 200% now.
Okay, zoom in. I mean, like, not zoom in. Scroll down.
Okay, not zoom in. Scroll down.
Okay, so right there. Look at that. I mean, you know this is anime. You know what to expect in black and white, but the way the colorist is actually coloring this anime, it's done right.
Yeah, I mean, he really does good with like the glows from the ship and through the blinds and stuff. Like, those little nuances are awesome.
The colors do not conflict with a line art. It's absolutely amazing. It's amazing work. It's a highly skilled talent. It's in the anime world, in manga world, it's highly sought after for people who actually do color right on manga.
Yeah, he's using white for the speed lines too, which is unique to me to see that, because usually you see it done in black.
And look at it. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's crisp. The artwork is the shots. The panels are definitely layered, very distinct from foreground, middle ground, and background. I mean, it's beautiful. There's absolutely zero conflict with the line art.
Right. I really got really lucky with the artists that I've been able to work with. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know who this is, but she needs to be on a waifu pillow.
Exactly. and you know what? If you look at it, the colorist is not overkilling it. You know. Yeah, he's leaving something.
I mean, this is all the same. This is all the same guy, not the same one as Galden, but the same guy does like literally the line work, the coloring. He even did the lettering.
That's great.
Like, he literally sent it to me with the letters. I didn't plan on it that way, but he sent it to me with the letters, which is great.
You're totally done with this page. Excellent. Nothing needs to be done. Save it. Print file.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's exactly the way it was. Like, I sent him like the whole plan for the panel with the words so he could kind of see what emotion was behind what he was drawing. But then he just threw it in, and I was like, oh well.
I can see where where your artist is clever, and it's a very good technique. You can't really tell unless you're actually looking for it. The way he repeats the planes, but it doesn't look like he's repeating the planes. The way he repeats the tank, again, it doesn't look like he's repeating the tank. He's a very clever artist.
Yeah, he changed the angle of the turret. It's casting a different shadow. The lettering, by the way, is gorgeous. The fact that you don't notice the lettering means that he did it right.
Yeah. It's not intruding on the artwork. That's beautiful.
Yeah, but I mean, the lettering style. Sometimes you look at an indie book that's lettered, and it looks like, oh, look, they typed something in a box in PowerPoint in Times New Roman and then pasted it onto the art. It just, it really just looks badly. This looks like what you would expect lettering to look like in a comic book. You can read it. It's easy on the eyes. These guys killed an awful lot of people to not kill people to take them to a planet, didn't they?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't kill a single person. They immobilized them in these energy bubbles and carried them off.
Well, I hope that's the case, because some of these cars and that explosion, that had the potential for some.
Right, but one could say that that the humans firing tanks and missiles and trying to fight were the ones that created the fire, because we don't see any of the aliens using any weaponry other than the energy bubbles.
Yeah, so I guess that's what that gun fires that the alien was walking off with. Fires a big energy bubble.
Wait, what was that?
I'm guessing that this gun, way back up here, this gun here.
You got roboted again.
This gun here fires energy bubbles. I'm messing with you. Am I still robotic?
Oh no.
Oh, he's gone again.
There we go.
Oh,
I
no.
got it. I got it.
This gun, it fires energy bubbles.
Hold on. What was that?
Can you hear me now?
No.
I didn't think so.
I'm trying to get service.
You're getting a blizzard.
You're losing me. There we go.
You're getting a blizzard. This gun, energy bubbles.
Yep. Yep. The one other race has a hand device. He's got a gun that shoots it.
Okay, got it. Now these are all the people that are going to be taken to the other planet rounded up here. Does she keep recurring? I know I joked about it earlier.
Not well, right. Well, not all of them. So this is the initial holding place before they take everybody to go see the leader, who then senses out who these people are. So not all of these people are going to be on this planet.
Okay,
This is like the this is like the funneling of people, So this is the part where he gets taken by these other two aliens to the leader to then go through where he sees into them and sees what kind of person they are.
and that's just done with like this penance stare kind of thing, because he doesn't talk.
Mm-hmm.
But he's
No,
obviously
he just has that reaction to him initially, which is because he sees the negative things that he's done.
You were influenced by Gann's book, weren't you? And the book in the enemy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
I love this scene.
Well, it's actually funny. I came up with this idea before I saw and read Gantz, and then I was like, oh, that's it was very similar, and then I kind of took a little bit of inspiration from.
Oh yeah. A lot of good stories, great stories. They all take little references from stuff already done or already been done, and it just enhances that much more to the project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try to take the best parts of the things that I like and put them into this story.
Yeah.
I see what happened. I got so big that the responsiveness of the page took over. I thought it thinks it's on a phone now. This is the scene I love. This George. I don't know if you saw this or not. They all get plopped down here. There's trees and grass, and the guy's like, "You could have dropped us off closer to home," but they're all happy because they're out of the spaceship. They survived. They're just not in the city anymore.
Yeah.
And then they work out. They're not on Earth anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is so cool.
Thank you.
I don't know if anybody got chomped there, but they certainly got thrown to run. This shadow is just beautiful. It's like all the cheering and then it just stops.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That cheering turns into mortified horror, right? Like
scream, run away, run away.
Mm-hmm. Get into the trees and get away.
Oh, that's amazing. That's absolutely spectacular.
All right. Well,
wait. What's the last man doing?
What is the last man doing? I thought he was drawing a duck there for a minute.
Can we zoom in on the last man? Let's have a look at what he's working on. Road Warrior Drake.
I've seen some Road Warrior Drake pictures here.
Now I know why a last man looks so pale. He always works in the dark, and the only light that actually puts a glow on his skin is the black and white from his book, which adds to the sepia tones on his skin.
There you go.
Which makes him look goofy. And you think he's a Mexican when he's really a Spanish guy from the Middle East. It's all coming together now.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Had a good run. Trying to scroll back up.
Thank you so much for having me on and kind of, being patient with my phone as I lose service.
You can't help it. You're being snowed in, man. So let's do what we can with what we got. So we got Reclaiming Zandara up to 410. That will go up higher when George comes out, unbacks and rebacks.
There we go.
And the same for Galden. Galden's up to 2640. So 4 days left on Galden, folks. 14 days left on Reclaiming Zandara. The links to both are in the description at the bottom of the video. So if you are watching this on replay, please do hit the links and get out there and back this while there's still time.
Yes.
It's going to happen either way, but let's at least make it something that, that Brandon makes his money back on, that he's thinking into making this happen. 140 pages, $25 each. You are not going to go $20 on one and 25 on the other. So you're not going to go wrong either way with this. It's a worthwhile investment. Even if you don't like it, you can give it to somebody as a gift, and it didn't cost you that much money.
They'll like it.
They'll like it. You never know. That's going to be it for us tonight. I've apparently got this thing that I've got to watch now because Critical Blast does movie reviews, and they're like, hey, RJ, watch this and review it, or we'll quit sending them to you for free. So now I've got to go earn my keep. So with that, I'm going to end it. Thank you, Brandon, for being on the show. Thank you guys for popping in and being in the chat and joining in on the show. Always makes it interesting and fun. We will be back. Don't want to end it just yet. I got to talk about tomorrow. I got to talk about I got to find that clip. Think about the future. Because tomorrow night we have on Paul Kupperberg, who is going to be talking about his new novel, JSA Ragnarok, and of course we're going to talk about any of the other bajillion things that he's done in the past several years at DC and Marvel, and then of course that's where we are right now. Friday night we'll have on Noah McTutis, and a 15-year-old kid doing crowdfunding comic book called Maverick's Decimation, and then on Saturday night it's our every other Saturday. Where's it at? There we go. It takes us on a line below for some reason. The LCS guys will be having their holiday extravaganza. We will be having multiple celebrity guests appearing. All these shows are at 7 p.m. I should note that I don't have a thing for it yet, but Friday's a double header. So we can't do this again on Friday the way we did it tonight. Noah McTutis gets the first hour, and then D Wolf Studios get the second hour to bring on Lilith, their book, which I have to load the card up for still yet. That's why I didn't have it. So, a lot to do, a lot coming up. Mike Murphy will be up next week. So, wow. I think I said Mike Murphy did Grave Robbers earlier to you. I was completely wrong. I apologize for that. I will get you the correct name on that. But Mike Murphy has wanted posters too, so I'll get you hooked.
Yeah, he's the Samurai and Dinosaurs guy, right?
Yeah. I think you're right. You're absolutely right. So,
and God something.
Yeah, the gods. The gods fear me. That's Mike.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what Mike Murphy's doing with us on Monday. So Sunday night's open mic, which is pretty much just kind of like what we did this last hour here. So if you like this and you want to just jump in and show whatever comic book you got, want to come back and talk your comic for a little while, bring it on in. We'll talk to anybody and everybody. With that, we are out. Good night, everybody.